Happy Sunday, options players. Today is March 19th, 2017, Sunday. During the course on session 2, we talked a little bit about DMI and ADX, and I promised to get a video out to you to talk a little bit about this and how I use it and how maybe I don't use it. It's fairly complex, so the only advice I would have is just kind of keep it in the back of your head that it is a tool, it's an indicator, and it can guide the way you trade. It does guide the way I trade. I understand it pretty deeply. Basically what it is it's the DMI is a directional movement index. It's an indicator developed by J. Wells Wilder. You've probably seen that name before, for identifying when an identifiable trend is present in the instrument or stock. That is, the DMI tells us whether an instrument is trending or not. So it's composed of two things: a positive directional index plus DI, which is a green line, and a negative directional index, which is a negative DI. The positive DI measures a bullish market pressure, while the negative DI measures the bearish market pressure. Whichever line is on top is the side of the market that's in control over the price at the moment. So the wider the distance between the positive DI and the negative DI, the more influence that upper line is going to have over the price action at the moment. As far as the average directional movement index, which is ADX, all this is a moving average of the two DMI. So when the ADX is rising, what basically it indicates that there's a building trend. So those two lines are getting wider, the ADX is going to be rising. When they start getting narrower, the ADX is going to be declining. But also, as with all other indicators, the DMI and the ADX are lagging indicators, so you can get a little time lag between when you might see price movement in a different way than what the ADX is indicating. The traditional calculation period for DMI and ADX is 14, although some traders, myself included, find shorter periods of 5 to be much more useful as they're much faster. Okay, so I've gone through this with my coach, and we've determined that the 5 period is a very nice number to use when looking at our systems. So to go into it, there's a couple of theories that we have. The first is the ADX being in the zone. And what we call the zone is the distance between the positive and the negative DI. Now you can have a zone that's with a negative on top or a zone with the positive on top. So the zone is that space between here. The ADX itself can enter the zone, and you see that it's increasing here, and it enters the zone, and keeps increasing with that negative DI in control. What that really means is that the bears are gaining control over the price action. And this is on the daily chart, by the way, on Apple, and the price direction is going to be going down. So we can actually use this as guidance if we see some other systems to decide whether we might want to take a bearish position in puts. So with the negative DI in control, the ADX in the zone and increasing indicates a downtrend. And we can see that here. Okay, so this is the day. I've brought the price in. So this is the day. It enters the zone. Theoretically, we could take a put play right here, and you can see it goes down. And as the negative DI is in control over all this time, we do have a very nice downtrend. Okay, you got to use a lot of other things to determine whether you want to stay in a trade or not, but this is a way to determine whether there is a downtrend. And you keep increasing. Now you see that the price action kind of comes back up a little bit in here, and you can see the ADX is starting to decline a little bit. Now you wouldn't use this solely as a decision to get out of your position. You'd want to be using other things like looking at these SMAs and a few other things. There's another concept that we use is when it exits the zone. Okay, so you can see it's in the zone right here, and there's going to be some exits. So we're also in the zone here, and we have an exit. Exit there, exit there, exit there, And you can see the circles where there are various zone exits. This can indicate a change in trend. Okay, so more exits here on IWM. This is the most recent chart. And you can see we have a whole bunch of exits. It gets a little bit messy, so this is why you don't want to use this indicator alone on its own. Okay, so if you take a look at that, we do have these zone exits where the green arrow is right here. So what you would normally do is say, okay, if my prognosis is according to my other systems, for example, the 1030 dance, I think it's going to go below the 30. We would take a put, and you can see a put eventually over a couple of days would be successful. Okay, you could actually go intraday, and you probably have a really nice profit right in there. Or if you're an overnight, you could probably have a really nice profit right there. Zone exit here. So the positive DI is in control. And we get a zone exit. So we would actually take, at this point, a put. Okay, so if the positive is in control and you exit the zone, you're going to take a put. But see, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We're a little bit early. So does this correspond to what our other theories are? For example, the 1030 dance. So would we take that trade only on the ADX? And that's probably no. Okay. The other one is here, as you can see, there is a zone exit here, right here. But it also enters the zone when the negative DI is coming up. So at that point, that is a strong possibility of a put right there. And we do go down. And the ideal exit would be right about the point where we're exiting the zone, which indicates a reversal, which we would take a call going up. Okay, and now with IWM, as you know, that we're in puts over the weekend, and that's because of our RSI system. So you can start overlaying systems and things like that, but you can see we do have a zone exit with the positive DI in control. And the ADX, if you use that as a sole system, would be down. Okay, so you can start overlaying these systems and making some determinations. Sometimes the stars align, sometimes they don't. And when more stars align, I get more excited about the positions that I. The ADX system is something that we use a little bit more, or we're going to start using a little bit more in the Money Tree, which is held on Sunday evenings. There's a live session from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Wall Street time, which is actually 8:30 a.m. my time in Penang, Malaysia. We go through a lot of different things: group coaching, systems reviews. We do look at GG, the Green Goose. We look at post-mortem analysis of some notable trades by members, and we actually identify trades that we want to go into. We develop trade plans, and we will enter those, and there will be videos during the week, 2 to 3 videos per week, depending on how many trades we're able to identify and open up, and we'll give a review for those future opportunities. Sessions are available as a recording for 3 months. So Steve's got some special deals on this right now for all course members. So if you do want to check into that following the course, if you're currently in the course, in the Options Players Basic Training course, or if you've already been through the Options Players Basic Training course, there's a special deal that is being offered. So if you want to get on that, please email Steve at optionsplayers.com. Thanks.